Hey fam, hey, welcome back to my channel. Now before we get started, I would like to ask your forgiveness right up front about all the noise or the rain or anything that you hear in the background on my mic. We are in the path of a hurricane here where I am. So I just wanted to hop on here, let you know to please be safe if you are in this area or anywhere in the path that it is coming to. Let's jump in, let's have a good time for at least a few minutes and have some laughs hopefully. But be safe. Now, here we are on another Sunday night for another episode of SisterWives. Now, last week, I made the mistake of saying season 19, episode 4, but tonight really is season 19, episode 4, How the Mighty Have Fallen. Now, I'm going to just put the stuff on out there. I feel like that A, Cody ain't mighty, but B, he has already fallen. He's been falling for about 15 seasons now, give or take a season, because he's really just been putting all of this into motion and then looking back on it, not taking any responsibility. So the scene opens with Christine at Melty's house, and she's holding the twins and calling herself one of my favorite names for a grandma, which is Oma. My other favorite name is Nona. So both of those are pretty close, but they both just have this beautiful warm sound to them that I love. We're going to dive right in with the fact that I thought that Christine was not going to be around Melty, Tony, and the twins until Robin wasn't there. But as we can see as this episode unfolds, Robin is still there, and they talk about how she slept in the closet. Now, if you saw my last video, you saw that I titled it, "Bitch, you slept in the closet?" But then, of course, it made a little bit of sense when Robin said that it was just really close and that she could be there to pick up the babies or feed the babies or do whatever she needed to do to help them out as Melty got some sleep. I still think there was probably someplace a little bit more comfortable she could have been, but to each his own, girl. So Chris is at Melty's house looking like the true polygamous mom. She is like showing off those skills by holding both of the babies at the same time like a pro. I mean, she is showing off that multitasking magic that we all know only comes from years of practice. And Avalon, poor girl, she is starting to realize that she's not the baby anymore. So Melty and Tony are talking about how Avalon saw Melty holding one baby and they saw Tony holding another baby, and she just started to cry. Now, I can only imagine what that must have felt like because I grew up an only child. But believe me, I think that had another child come into the life of my mom, I would have felt the same way. And I'm sure that it was a little interesting and shocking just because these are people who grew up in polygamous households. So of course they were used to children coming in and there being lots of kids and seeing their moms or dads or whomever holding more babies. So they said they needed to just spend a little more time with Avalon and just kind of get her used to the idea and let her know that, you know, we don't love you any less. It's just that we now have these little babies that are going to be your brothers. And so there you go, your brothers and sisters. So first up, Robin. Wow. She is away from her precious little angels and Flagstaff for more than 2 days. I thought that was impossible, but I guess maybe that only applies to Cody. And we see that Christine actually speaks to Robin, but Robin sort of comes off as that girl at school who wants the popular girls to ask her to sit with them at the lunch table. She keeps walking into the room kind of sheepish and looking at Christine, and then Christine does speak to her, which good on you for saying something. But then she keeps sort of trying to bait Christine into conversation. And we see Christine kind of looking off the other way out of the window like, girl, it ain't happening. This is not fixing nothing. We just happen to be here at the same time for the love of these babies and these kids. So yeah, not going to be at the cool girl table. Not today. I mean, you could really just see Christine trying to hold on to her crown, keep it from slipping, and still just trying to stay queen bee in her own self and in this situation and not letting Robin have too much of what could be misconstrued as wanting a friendship. Of course, we see Robin, who goes out to the car, talks about what a wonderful experience she had with Melty and the babies, and the waterworks start. She talks about how much she's going to love being a grandma to these kids and that she just really wishes kind of that it could go back. You know, she didn't say all of these words, but led back to how she felt like they could be all on the porch rocking their kids. But the thing about it is, though, is that you still have to make sure that you take accountability for why you don't have that dream of yours, or as they like to call it, the big picture. How about you just master being a mom before you start getting really into being the grandma? Let's do that. Let's do that. Mary and Thanksgiving. How sad was this? Why on earth would Mary be invited to Thanksgiving at Robin and Cody's? Honestly, it feels like Robin is just sort of doing it to make herself feel better. And surprise, surprise, Cody found a way to blame Mary for why he couldn't be affectionate with Robin. So, of course, Mary's like, I'm not going to go hang out with you two. I'm not a part of the family. Why would I go to your house for Thanksgiving? And please, oh, please don't let me be the reason that you can't be all lovey-dovey, touchy-feely with Robin of all people. I would say no to that also. This was just classic Cody, finding a reason to again deflect and give somebody else the blame. Meanwhile, Christine's having Thanksgiving with Melty, Isabel, Aspen, and Mitch, which is wonderful. Tony's mom is there, and we get a wonderful surprise appearance from Gwen and Gwen's girlfriend, Bea. Who else? Raise your hand if you thought that her girlfriend's name, now her wife, her girlfriend, now wife's name was B. It is Bea. Now we know. Melty, I'm going to tell you though, that girl is handling her C-section like a champ. From what I understand, because I've never had children, especially not a C-section, of course, I heard that it takes you a while to be up and around. Some people have even said that they had to stay in the hospital for a few days. And it sounds like Melty was like out in a day and she was up walking around like, you know, strong man by Thanksgiving, which I remember her saying earlier that Robin was going to leave by Wednesday to be home by Thanksgiving. So in just a few days, she was up walking around. It was like she'd had the birth a month ago. So good on you. Strength for days. Come on. Now, fast forward to the week after Thanksgiving, Tuesday to be exact, and Mary is in her bed sick. Not like, oh, I had too much turkey or dressing or stuffing sick, but like really sick. And she says that she feels like this is her body telling her, come on now, you got to figure this out. So remember, in the timeline, we are before her now having left, and we know that she's divorced from Cody and on and on. So her body, she says, is telling her, you've got to figure this out. You need to sit down, lay down, be down, and take some time to think. So it's your body that told you you needed to figure this out. We've been telling you you needed to figure this out a long time ago. But if you want to wait till your body take you down, I'm just going to say that not only can your body be telling you that you need to figure it out, but your body can also be telling you that you are full up in toxins from being in this relationship for too long. I am not a doctor. These are only my opinions. Robin says that she found out Mary was spending Thanksgiving alone after the fact. So that tells me you didn't call her on Thanksgiving Day to say Happy Thanksgiving, but you wanted her there to what? Rub it in her face that you were still with Cody? Maybe you were hankering for another Rice Krispie turkey. Robin, get it together. Cody and Robin have yet another fight. But of course it's true in Cody fashion that it's everyone else's fault. Now, here's where I'm going to stop just for a minute. I don't know that I believe this fight was what we saw. Yes, they probably had a small argument, but I always seem to notice that Robin pretty much kowtows to what Cody wants. She likes to pretend or feel somehow that she is more standing up for things, or she is more tough than she really is, because I saw it when I watched this episode. Cody says something. She pretends to really be defensive of her position, but then goes, oh, I know. And then we see her begging him, basically, your children need you because when I was growing up, my dad wasn't there for me. And I went to him and I asked him, why weren't you there? Blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. We've said it a million times before. I'm going to say it one more, probably 3, 4, 5 more times because it's what this season is. Robin did not contribute to the health of this family. She talked last night about how she missed the big Thanksgiving. If you miss it, then you have to go back and go, what part did I have in making it go away? Let's go all the way back to the first few episodes that you came around. Even Christine said to you, it really hurt me that you didn't let me help take care of your children. So just starting right there, you lived separate. Now, I understand they want to say she couldn't fit in the house that was in Utah. So they got her a house. They didn't find anything so close. So she was already away. A couple of the kids would come over. But then you put notes on your refrigerator that don't make the kids feel like family. I get it. You don't want to go into your refrigerator and find all of your food gone because there are a lot of boys in the family. But I think that because you were supposed to be working together, you would make that happen. The boys probably went to your refrigerator, Janelle's refrigerator, Christine's refrigerator, maybe Mary's. I'm not sure about Mary because she, of course, we know was very particular about who was in her home and, on and on. But at least the mothers with boys, right? So then there's that separation. Then there were all the times that trips would happen or events would happen and you would find a reason to stay at home. Graduations where you couldn't find parking, so you missed the graduation. You didn't leave with the rest of the family because. So you have to go back and start to really bullet point those things. And I'm not sure if you need somebody to do it for you. I volunteer as tribute. But you need to go back and really, really look at with a fine-tooth comb all the things that you did to contribute to this. Never mind that anytime anyone said anything against what you were doing, you had an ally in Cody that he would protect you. No one could get close to you to even let you know that some of these things were bothersome. So you lived in a glass house, a very well built, bulletproof glass house. So you could see what was going on, but you couldn't maybe hear that a lot of it fell on you. That is not at all to give you a pass. That is not at all to give you a pass, Robin. You are standing here begging a man who you are even losing respect for something that I don't think you're ever going to get. I don't think you're ever going to get it. But if you want to stand there and do this whole soap opera for us and make us feel like you are really having this heart-to-heart moment with him and you really feel for these kids, I have to say that I don't buy it 100%. I'm going to give you that 20% of that was real. 20%. That's all I can give you. It really just feels like, when he keeps saying, I'm being punished for a crime I didn't commit. I need him to say that to himself a few more times. But then I need for him to say that and have someone just every time he says it, insert what he did do. Right? I'm being punished for a crime I didn't commit, but you didn't go to your daughter's surgery. I'm being punished for a crime I didn't commit, but you called one of your children's mother the Teflon Queen, so you talked about her behind her back. I'm being punished for a crime I didn't commit. I kissed another woman while my other wife was in labor. I'm being punished for a crime I didn't commit. I told a wife I never loved her. I've told a couple of wives I never loved her. I feel like I'm being punished for a crime I didn't commit. Here's something you, Cody, may not understand. But when you insult a child's mother, you insult a child. When you insult a child's mother, you insult a child. Unless that relationship is somehow really screwed up, you are not ever going to get a child on your side against their mother. The whole situation is really just starting to look like Cody is the real woman in all of these relationships because he's doing exactly the things that he's accusing them of. Talking behind their backs, telling each other things that he shouldn't be sharing with them about a wife. all of these things that you keep accusing other people of doing, you are doing all on your own. I mean, this whole second half basically of the show tonight was this argument between Cody and Robin, and it just got old really quick. So this is a little bit of a shorter review. Maybe I might have talked enough to make it a little longer, but yeah, this was again just one of those episodes where I felt like the whole second half was about trying to maybe redeem Robin's I don't know, redeem her in some way, or to really address that whole thing about how the kids blame Robin for the things that have gone wrong and how he's not going to let that happen. And yeah, the thing is that nobody's going to say, trust what you say about that. Nobody's going to trust what she says about that. The damage is done. There's too much tape that we can go back and watch to see that it really was a lot of the things that you want to deny. So yeah. And then we skip to Christine. We finally get done arguing and we skip to Christine, who has gone on her first date with David. They have already planned a second date. I'm going to tell you that I love that she told us this news while she was folding her clothes. Because what? SisterWives, they're just like us. Janelle says she's not interested in dating at all. She loves her freedom. She loves that she can get up when she wants, go to bed when she wants, on and on. I love it. I just love that they're both in such a great place, right? Of course, we heard the sentence that we wanted to hear, or we've been maybe looking to hear, at least for part of these last few episodes, that Robin is finally starting to lose respect for Cody because he will not reach out to his children. She feels like he should be sleeping on their doorsteps, to which he says, I will not be sleeping on their doorsteps. The one thing that I did keep remembering, thinking again, going back to the argument, is I kept going, you know, Robin, you are getting really, really close to the no-no list. And what I call the no-no list is where you start to really defy what Cody thinks in his head, and he then starts to blame you for what is going on. And he almost did. He almost put a little bit of blame on Robin, right? So when she says, you know, I feel like I came into this family and maybe there were things going on that I didn't know about. Yeah, the thing that you didn't know about was who Cody really was. Cody had this in him the entire time. What you looked at to try to say this is a good man was kind of a facade, really. Because you had Janelle and Christine doing a man's share of the work, Cody just flitting around to each house pretending a little bit that he was doing some of that work. So what you saw was really outside of the confines of the family and what was really happening. And you let that bamboozle you. Ciao. What? You got bamboozled. That is pretty much the episode. Like I said, it was a lot about the babies, which was great. And then it was a lot about the argument or the talk or the soap opera telenovela that Robin and Cody had, where outside and not in the house. I don't know how it's going to change. I don't know where we're going from here with these episodes. I think the next line we're all waiting for is the I feel like the idiot who got left behind. I don't know what that's going to come out of. But we'll be around to see it, and I'll be here to tell you about it. So yeah, just keep tuning in. Don't forget to share with your friends. Tell people if you like the content. Tell people, share it with people. Let them hear my ridiculous opinions and thoughts and theories on this show. But before I wrap up, I did promise you that I had a big announcement. I am going to be adding another show to the realities roster. And if you take 2. So before we wrap up, I have an exciting announcement. We are adding a new show to the realities roster. It's an oldie, but a goodie. And it's funny because I've asked a few people if they watch this show. Some of them say yes, some of them say no, but I think it depends on what you do for a living or what your enjoyment might be. So the name of the show is, drum roll please, Dance Moms. We are diving into the world of Dance Moms. Yes, the drama, the dance routines, and the Abby Lee Miller of it all. So join me here on Monday night for Sister Wives and join me on Wednesday night for Dance Moms recap. Now, I can tell you that we are not going to go all the way back to season 1, and we are going to start in a place that you would not expect that I would start before we really get into those recaps. So, join me here, and as I always say, peace, love, and hair grease, y'all. We out.